All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakar. Also, want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the four corners who are enduring in both truth and in sincerity. And all the men and women who follow. This is brother Kratazah from the Fountain of Living Waters, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This lesson being entitled, Who Are the Strangers in the Old Testament? So, Lord's Word is the edifying video. So, when you go to the Old Testament, you see that word stranger, which is it's in there many of times for different reasons, right? And you have really two different um, meanings for the word stranger. You have Strong's H1616, which is gar, all right, meaning a sojourner or resident alien, right? Someone who lives in Israel, often with civil rights, but not a native landowner. So in this case, it would be like let me see a map of ancient Israel. That's what I need. This is the map that I need right there. So yeah, this will do. Right. So we're looking at this map. So let's say you are an Ephraimite, and then you go to sojourn in the land of Zebulun. Now you are a gar, all right, you are a stranger who has civil rights, but you're not a native landowner, right? You're in foreign territory, but you get treated as an Israelite pretty much, right? And then you will have the Strong's H5237. I believe that word is Nicaria, Nicaria. Now, if I pronounce that wrong, brothers, forgive me. It says a foreign alien, a foreigner, a foreign woman, a harlot, unknown or familiar, right? It says from a different country and held no relationship with the people of Israel. Two different kind of strangers. All right, now let's go through them. This is Genesis 15:13. It says, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed, who is the 12 tribes and all the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, right? So we went into slavery in Egypt. We were strangers in that land, right? But this stranger, even though we were strangers in a land that wasn't ours, is 1616 because it's speaking about Israelites. Okay. See if I can get another good example. I think there's one in like Deuteronomy. Ten. Just bear with me here. And these are all talking about Israelites, but I'm just trying to get a good example for you. If you bear with me. Let's check this out and get a little bit more meat off of this bone. Oh, matter of fact, I like that one. So Numbers 9 and 14 says, and if a stranger shall sojourn among you and will keep the Passover unto the Lord, Heathens don't keep the Passover, right? So why would that be a heathen, right? It says, according to the ordinance of the Passover, and according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. And ye shall have one ordinance both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land. So that means like if you know you're a Judite and you in the Passover you're in the land of Gad, all right. There's a way that there's rules and regulations on how to treat people and how to take care of the duties that are needed to be done for the Passover, right? And also, so and conversely, you know, for the person who is not an Israelite, you know, there's scriptures for this as well. So let's check this out. Right. So yeah, this is a good one. Genesis 31 and 15. No, it's not the one I'm thinking of. Um, Let me see. Just bear with me. Let's see. Deuteronomy 14 and 21. It says, "Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it to an alien, to a foreigner, to someone who is not a Jew." Right? For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. Thou shalt not save a kid in his mother's milk. So some died. A Let's say there's a deer that had a heart attack. you know, you can't eat that. All right, you can sell it to a heathen, and then they can eat it, but you can't sell it to another Israelite for them to eat it. All right, this is what it's speaking about. These people cannot be saved because that's what the big topic is, right? With these guys from Genesis speaking about the heathen gaining salvation. Well, if the Lord loved them so much, why do they have a whole nother set of rules? All right, the Lord is not dealing with these people. He said it himself. Let's grab that real quick. Then we'll get this Isaiah 14 and we'll end it with that. But this is Second Ezra chapter 6 and 54 says, um, he says, "And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all." Everybody comes from Adam, right? "And the people also whom thou hast chosen," right? So all the people in the world and his chosen line all come from Adam. It says, "All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes." You know, the Lord made the world for our sakes. All right. Everybody's coming from Adam. The people who he didn't choose and the people who he did choose all come from Adam. And he made the world for the people who were chosen, the people who came uh, from the line, as we read before, um, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Abram knew that his seed, would be a stranger. These are the strangers that the world was made for, right? The people who the world was made for, thy seed, Abram's seed, by blood, all right, who are Israelites, right? So what about everybody else? It says 56. "As for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle." All right, if they're nothing to them, why are they gaining salvation? If they're like spit, you know, you don't anybody would just hack a loogie, or you get a bad taste in your mouth. You just spit. You get the taste out of your mouth. It says, and has likened the abundance of them. So all of them are equivalent to a drop that falls from a vessel. So if you have a big bucket of water and you got to go from one end of the house to the other end, you're probably going to spill a couple drops, but you're not worried about the couple drops that you spill because you got the whole bucket. Israel, the chosen, is the bucket of water, the whole bucket of water, and the couple drops that fell off are the other nations. The Lord don't really care about them. So these guys are going to have a lot of explaining to do here in the near future because they're contradicting so many scriptures. So now they're going to have to come up with new breakdowns. You're going to have to sit. So they're going to have to charge you people who are following these guys for a new breakdown because they don't believe the old breakdowns that you paid for. So now you got to buy the new breakdowns so that you can be on point with their new doctrine. You see how crazy that is? The scriptures say what does it say? To be confident in the things that you have learned and who you learned them from. Roughly paraphrasing. Let's see if I can. Who you learned them from, KJV. Here we go. 2 Timothy 3:14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. Right? And as I said earlier, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, GMS ain't changed the doctrine. GMS is, who taught me this truth, who I learned this truth from. And this is the doctrine that I'm going to continue to preach. This is the movement that the Lord is dealing with. So you have to continue in the things that you've learned and being assured of. Now, if you're selling breakdowns and then you change the doctrine, well, you're selling something that you're not assured of. That's crazy. But hey, man, Lord's Lord, this is edifying. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let's get this last one. Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Now, what strangers is this? Gar, an Israelite. These strangers will be joined into them, right? The Israelites, right? A temporary habit, a newcomer. They try to change it. A foreigner in Israel who can see their rights. This is not the same one, is it? Okay, it is. Okay, it's the same one. It's just I didn't go through what it says right here. We went through what it says right here, but this is actually the more accurate term. But I mean, you guys get the point. Where when it says, and the stranger shall be joined unto them, right? These are the Israelite foreigners. These are the people who may look like the other nations, but are Israelites by blood. Okay? That's who these strangers are. Verse 2, it says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place." It's not the them is not the strangers. All right, the people that shall take them, the them are the other nations. All right, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. In the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Now, if you got some good white people who are going to get salvation, well, why do they're going to get salvation to be servants and handmaids, or like we said, uh, reincarnation still applies. So 3 or 4 generations ago, these so-called good white people who you claim are going to get salvation were oppressors. They had rights over Negroes. They had us in slavery, but they're going to get salvation. That's not the way it works, man. But like I said, these guys are gonna have a lot of explaining to do, and they obviously sold out, and the Lord's gonna deal with them. And with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect brothers across the 4 corners who are enduring in both truth and in sincerity of the men and women who follow. Shalom.